friends. Welcome back. You know what? What? We just had that Lionsgate, and then we had like a whole bunch of celestial events last night. So I felt like I should, because you know what? Like I was thinking about the Lionsgate, and then I was like, oh, the gateway. Maybe I should come do a divine doorway read. But when I went to grab my cards, I felt like I should do a few from all of these. So that's what I'm gonna do. You know what I've been doing lately? So I went to Reddit, and on Reddit, there's a subreddit for pen pals to find people to write to, and I'm gonna use pen paling as like a form of light work, so that way people who are looking for uh good energy, there will be like a good giving and exchanging of energies. So it will probably be mostly reciprocal. I don't know like to what extent, but those two want to come out together. Bottom of the deck is secret sketches. It says wander and seek the familiar and friendly kind. Draw memories and sketches for others to find. So at the bottom of the deck, it's encouraging to leave art places for people to find it. So we have two doorways. So for each doorway, I'm gonna do one or two cards. So we'll give each one an angel number and then one or two from each deck. So unintentional pick-a piles, or they could all resonate for you. I mean, if they do, then that's what it is. Oh, all right. Bottom of this is reflection. Yeah, I've been doing as many readings lately. Just, you know what? I've been really busy. I've had a couple water emergencies, or by water, I mean like plumbing situations. And there's been a lot going on. Well, when it's summertime, so I'm gardening a lot. And this morning, I like cleared out my shed of a lot of things. I'm really trying to like downsize my life a little bit, declutter, get rid of things that, you know, like so often in tarot, when we think about like that Eight of Cups energy, and we always think about like walking away from what doesn't serve us, and we almost always apply it to relationships. But sometimes in the course of living, like I'm 50, right? So I'm a lot older. So maybe this more applies to me. But if you're somebody like close to my age, it's like, sometimes you can. All right. Bottom of the deck, we have isolated, it says contemplated and reflecting, and the bottom angel number was for reflecting. So I guess we're just having some Lionsgate reflections right now. Also, with this reflection energy, I feel like anybody who may be out in public who feels like if you feel like you're drawn to go sit out in nature somewhere to like de stress yourself, and if you're somebody who is a type to like sketch and doodle, you know, draw a few extra with the intention that you're going to leave them someplace. So, like, or, you know what I mean? So, check this out, right? So, here's an idea. Like, if you're an Earth Angel, Starseed type of person, right? Here's an idea. So, like, most of us, we do grid work, right? Or grid work is basically a form of light work. So, like, if you don't know, like, what grid work, okay, so there's light work, which is light work is like, you know, we're working to raise the vibration of the planet. Bottom of the deck is the fire element. It's probably applicable since it's summertime. We are in that Leo season, and it's high summer. Oh, there's fires all over the well, not literally everywhere, United States, but it's been a lot of places. So I think this is going to be an interesting reading. All right, so let's see what we got. So first, we're starting off with this doorway, which already is cracked open. It's like the light's already seeping in, and this is called a care for longing. Love is happiness, a spark inside. Live deliberately and choose boldly. Then you have arrived. So we have a doorway that is to choosing deliberately and boldly. And your angel number for this is willpower. Wow, that's really interesting because I feel like willpower is what supports that live deliberately and choosing boldly. Wow. So and it says so their number for this is 1616 and it says things may feel out of sync and not within your control. The whisper of the divine is asking that you remember that you are being supported and that your will is your superpower. Determination is key right now. And our affirmation for this doorway is I call on my strength and my willpower to take the lead. I accept and listen to the support of the divine within me. So, and then for this, we have reconciliation, card 51. Normally, I do like this card because it has like this really nice purple tones on it, but it's really dark. So, like, depending on the lighting, it almost looks black. And then it says reunion with somebody from your past, union, merging, and repair, but it was upside down. So, you know, since we're talking about like making choices, having willpower, choosing boldly, if this reconciliation is with somebody that, if it took a lot for you to leave them and or separate from this person in your life, I would be very careful, okay? Just have boundaries. Don't be afraid because it said to live deliberately, you know? So don't allow anybody, like, if you have somebody from your past who wants to make up, make sure that you also want to do this, okay? Don't allow anybody to manipulate or force you into doing it. But if you want to, since this is coming out, if you would like to, right now, this may be a great time for repair. Well, and it says merging. So, like, if you want to combine powers with somebody, that seems like a good time for that. We also have 46 decision, free will, and judgment. So, I feel like this really supports this. Exactly. So, right now, it's your free will. You have the right to choose what you want for your life. If whoever this energy is coming back, um, you know, if you feel like they're too controlling or they want to just walk in and tell you how everything's going to be without giving you choice, I feel like your freedom to choose and choosing for you is going to be really important right now. So, like, um, this theme of free will, your willpower, choosing what you want. So from the fairies, we have devotion, but it was upside down. So remember, this reconciliation came in upside down. So I feel like whoever this person was somebody that you loved a lot and you were very devoted and they were not devoted to you. And then we also have something wild. So this is given like, it's almost kind of giving me this, like the colors on both of these is really desaturated, you know? It kind of almost gives like, it almost kind of gives like once upon a time you were this, no, this one right here. Once upon a time you were this one. And you knew this person, whoever this is to you. And something happened and you guys separated. And during the time you separated, you became this. But I feel like you were meant to become this. I feel like this was something that was asleep inside of you and was waiting to wake up. So, you know, depending on how you feel about that person and situation, you know, if you would like to have a reunion, you can do it. You know, you may have a situation where that person comes and talks about it. You listen to what they have to say, and you can look and say, you know what, I appreciate what this situation was a catalyst for me. But even as much as I appreciate what this has done for me, like what's happened has happened, and I don't feel like I can trust you. You haven't had my best interests at heart, and you know, but I released you in love. I released you in love a long time ago. I forgave you a long time ago. But forgiveness doesn't mean forgiveness and reconciliation are not always the same thing. It's like just because you forgive somebody doesn't mean that you're welcoming them back with open arms back into your life. Like you could forgive somebody, but also say like, well, there are standards to have a place in my life, and you have to do this because it's up to me who I have in my life. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to this second doorway and see if this ties in, and then we'll loop back around just have any final comments on it. So we have this nice big heavy doorway. It reminds me of like I went to a place called Marygrove College, and it reminds me of the doors over there. I love these big wooden doors. And this door says freedom. I love it. You know what? It says freedom flows, and I feel like freedom flows. So first doorway is talking about our resolve and power in choosing for ourselves. And then the next doorway is freedom flows. Get out of here, dude. It says don't hold yourself back from worldly freedom. Dream grand things for a divine sacred reason. So if you feel like, deep down in your heart of hearts, if you feel like you were born in this world for a certain purpose, which on multiple of my videos, I always recommend everybody you should get your life path number, because your life path is going to tie into what you should be doing with your life so that you can feel satisfied and fulfilled, right? And for angel number, we have 1313. And this talks about clarity, which I love, because clarity and freedom go together, do they not? And it says, as the storm passes, the clarity is felt faster than lightning is seen against a dark sky. The divine is reminding you that clarity is readily available, and all you have to do is ask. You have weathered the storm, and now the sky is clearing. And your affirmation for this doorway is loving energy surrounds me, and I trust that the clarity I feel is the answer I need. So, you know, so it may be that like let's say like this returning energy comes back. Whatever is like your intuition feeling, I feel like you should go with that. So um and when I say your intuition feeling, it's not necessarily the what would have been nice if it worked out this way. You know, it's just what is your like what does your gut tell you about the situation, and choose accordingly. So here we have card 7 for strategy, aim, and approach, and it looks like a fox or a wolf, you know. So it looks like some canine energy. And then we also have your chakras, which is card 15, and it says listen to your body to unlock free flowing positivity and spiritual power within you. It talks about alignment, energy, and awareness. So, like, yeah, so it's just talking about your approach to the situation. So it's just like, you know, don't be afraid or feel bad to strategize for what is good for you. You've already been in that other situation. There's no reason to make yourself have to relive karmic cycles over and over again if this person is either non-reciprocal and or untrustworthy. I mean, it's up to you who you want to give chances to in your life, but just remember that the one thing you can never get back if you lose it is time. Okay? So, like, when you're in your early 20s, when you want to allow people to stay for like 2 to 5 years and they waste your time, you might be like, oh, well, I'm still really young. I still have the rest of my life. But once you get to like your mid and upper 40s, you know what? Once you get to your 40s and older, a lot of times, like, dudes, we don't want people wasting our time. Okay, we're not getting any younger. Like the time for wasting years with somebody has already come and gone. It's already been here. We're not doing that no more, you know? And especially like if you're around my age, like we've probably already had at least one or more toxic relationships that we've had to heal from. And, and especially if you're somebody watching my channel where I'm talking about high vibration and tuning your energy and all this good stuff, it's like, you know, we can't allow people to come in and drain us of our energy and use up all our time and resources for them while they are not also pouring into us and supporting us and loving us in the way that we need to be loved and supported also, just remember that relationships are a two-way street. If you are the only one who's actually pouring in and that other person is not showing up correctly for you, that's a no. If there's confusion, that's a no. Because let me tell you something, the source of all things, the Almighty, He is not a God of confusion. He is a God of clarity, and He's going to tell you this is the way you should go. And you can choose if you're going to go that way or not. But I can tell you that, like, He's not going to be confusing about it. He's going to be like, this is what you should do. It's up to you if you want to do that or not. So don't allow this person or anybody else to show up in your life and try to emotionally manipulate you, blackmail you, try to coerce you into accepting something that is not fair to you and or good for you, because that's not fair. Like, relationships need to be 50-50 where everybody's uh putting in, you know I mean, and in relationships over time, there may be times in your relationship where you have to support a little bit more and the other person has to support a little bit more, but it should always be like a give and take. But when you have one person who's like being narcissistic and having the other person just basically be their well so that they can like come home to that person and always have a safe place to come back to, but the real life they want to live and the person they want to be is the one that they show to everybody else. So, like, the person they show to you is not the same them that everybody else sees. And so it's almost like they live two different lives. There's the life they live with you, and then there's the them they are with everybody else. And I feel like, when you're deciding what you want to do with this person, just keep that in mind, okay? Just keep that in mind. Because I've been through that with people. I lived with somebody for 20 years, and then even after that, I met a few other people where it was just, I feel like most of the past people from my life, I probably wouldn't take them back because I feel like anybody who was in my life long enough that if they were gonna fix something, they had ample time to do it. If they wanted to course correct, they had ample time to do it. And it's like it takes me so long to turn and walk away from people or to cut them out of my life that it's like if you pushed me to do that and then you want to come back now after I'm like in my power and in my purpose, no, 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 absolutely not. It's ridiculous. I personally feel like that's disrespectful. You may feel differently, so you can choose for yourself. So your fairy cards for this card is rescued. I find that's a really interesting energy for I find that's really interesting. Because the rest of this talking about freedom and clarity, and now we have rescue. It's like, oh, what is that? Is this maybe a surprise from the divine? Because then we also have home sweet home. So it's like, come on. I'm gonna where's my book at? Oh yeah, here it is down here. I'm gonna read for the rescued. I actually don't remember what that one said, but it does look like a whole bunch of little sprites. I mean, obviously the whole deck is fairies, right? But it's a bunch of little sprites on a daisy. It could just be a reward for somebody who hung in there. So we have 12, 11, 51, 46, 7, 15, 17, and then 64. All right, so rescued. All right, so the keyword for the rescued card is assistance. And it says if you've drawn this card, you might be in danger of relying too much on other humans. Remember to connect to your own personal inner teacher for guidance. The answers are all inside. Also, check to make sure you are not trying to rescue others. They too must follow their own inner truth. This does not mean that you can't receive or give advice, but you should take all advice and check it thoroughly with your inner knowing to make sure that it is for your highest good. Which, pausing before I finish reading this, is like, remember what I was saying with this first one? I was like, if this person comes back, you should just, you're going to have to decide for your own situation. Like, that's what fits you or not. I wouldn't, but I can't tell you not to, right? So when it says, with the help of the spiritual realms, there's nothing you cannot accomplish or handle. There are thousands of beings waiting to serve you at any given time. This is their joy and their salvation. They live to assist you and to keep you from harm. It is their job to help you connect with your spirit and higher truth. Listen to their messages. These messages can come in many forms: a dot or a voice beside your ear, opening a book to find the answer staring back, a message on a billboard, words of a small child or a friend. Ask and listen. And allowing the helpers to aid you, you help them manifest their own destiny. And there's an affirmation in this that says, in my heart, I know that I am always safe. I know that heavenly beings are around me, and I give thanks to these small beings, and I welcome them into my life. They bring peace and comfort, and they assist me in all I do, which is almost like little angels, right? And they are God's messengers of light. Yeah, that's what it is. They're the little angels. God's messengers of light come to focus me on my earthly journey. So be it. It says, give yourself good advice today. So that's really nice. I also feel like I should go back and read the Something Wild. So in Something Wild talks about change, which I usually take this card to be like shamanism, but it says, do you sense something new in the air? The winds of change are upon you, and it is of the utmost importance that you pay attention. This is a time for receiving and for manifesting. Allow Spirit to reveal its messages of the mystery of being. Look at the unusual within the usual. See deeper into all that is around you. Look under the rock. Is a fairy staring back at you? Work with the elements and the elementals. Listen to the song the stream sings to you, and to the lullaby of the tree branches swaying overhead. The world is alive with knowledge. Let it awaken your senses for clearer perception of all things. This is a time to delve deeper into the esoteric. It is as if a portal has been opened for you. A portal. Didn't I say I was doing this for the 80 gateway? Oh, all right. So it says it's all there for you to grasp if you choose. The information you need comes to you at the perfect time. Someone may offer you a book to read. You may stumble upon a source that you never expected. You might meet a person who brings to you the messages you have been waiting for. Be alert right now to the changes the universe is sending your way. This is a time of great potential growth for you. Use it wisely and to its fullest extent. The winds are gathering in all directions. What will they blow onto your path? Be ready and willing. And our affirmation for this is, winds of the east, bring to me the message of changing life. Winds of the south, bring to me the opportunities of new choice. Winds of the west, bring to me the knowledge needed to make enlightened decisions. And winds of the north, keep me on my divine path. Energies from above instill in me honor. Energies from below ground me to my purpose. Angels and elementals, I thank you for your help. So be it. And do something wild today. Oh, this is like one of the. Oh, this is the last card of this deck. Home Sweet Home talks about the return. It says there are 3 levels to this card. This card is about returning to your roots. This may involve a trip to your childhood home or to a relative's. It involves thinking about old memories from the past and perhaps releasing those that are not so good. Age and life bring more understanding to events that happened in the past. The lessons are now easier to understand and to absorb. This card also refers to the home where you now live. If you are not comfortable where you are living, then start looking around for a new home or start to do things to your abode to make it more comfortable. It may be time to do a little repair or decorating. Freshen things up a bit. And for those who are ready to hear it, this card is about awareness. Awareness in this sense is about reaching that point in your spirituality when you suddenly feel your connection to the one source. This is when you truly understand that you are connected to spirit and have always been and always will be. It's the knowing that you are a part of something much greater than just your physical being on this earth. And it is a knowing that goes to the core of your being. You have an integral role in all of existence. Once you begin to understand your own divinity, you begin to become kinder and to live life fuller and to be grateful for all that comes into your life. This card says that we all go home when our voyage on earth is finished. This is not a card about death. It makes no predictions of such. It simply asks you to recognize your divine self. And with this recognition comes a peace unlike any you have ever known. It is as if you have been absorbed into the glowing white energy of creation. Although we all go back to source when we leave our physical body, we do not lose our individuality. So do not fear this happening. Be in peace. Be comforted in the knowledge that you always have a home waiting for you. And our affirmation for this is I am. I have always been. And I always will be. And so it is. It says tap your heels together 3 times today. Oh, so are you somebody who like maybe likes Wizard of Oz with tap our heels together 3 times today? Oh. All right, well that's all I have for this reading. I'm gonna go ahead and post this up soon. Um, I don't know. That's all I have. I didn't really have like any big ideas. Oh yeah, I was gonna tell you guys, but like so on Reddit I found one for pen pals, and so I feel by writing and sending people letters, not only is it light work because you're just sharing a happy, sending people happy mail, and everybody likes to get letters, and that's positive and upbeat, but if we have the intention of blessing our letters with some of our energy, then in a way, it's also kind of a form of grid work where, like, while that letter is in transit, when it's with the postal carriers, they're sitting in that energy. And then when it's at the facility, it's sitting in at that location is grounded with that energy. And then wherever it goes to that person who has it in their house, if they end up keeping that letter and the envelope, uh, especially like if it's been made with something that's been in your energy for a long time, then that acts as a sort of micro grid work. It's maybe not be the same as if you went to that place in real life and stayed there for days to weeks or possibly living there, but it is still sending out a little bit. And I feel like the more that we all do that, it's going to help the planet and it's going to help this birthing of the new earth energies. So that's all I have for you right now. If you listen to this whole thing, thank you.